attending this webinar for the value of voluntary benefits. This session will learn more about the value of Aflac voluntary benefits in today's economy. I'm going to turn it over to Beth Pearson, who's one of the benefit advisors with Northwest Benefit Advisors.
Thank you
Take
so
it away,
much.
Beth.
Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me okay, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I know you've got a busy day with all the different participants. So I'm very happy to have been invited back and very happy to give you a little bit more information about Aflac benefits and what's available to you and understanding a little bit more about how they help. Maybe it's something you might be interested in learning more about. You'll see down below that I do have an email address, beth@northwestnwbenefitadvisors.com. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions and maybe want a personal meeting. I'm more than happy to do that and conduct one. And of course, we'll see those that are going to be in person tomorrow. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person at the fair. So I'll continue. So just a quick agenda. We want to kind of focus a little bit more on financial and of course how Aflac products can be of service to you. What you can expect from our services, Northwest Benefit Advisors. Just a little bit about us. We're in Bellevue, Washington, so we are local, and we can review kind of what an enrollment process would look like. So let's focus on kind of the why. If you've seen the Aflac commercials, you kind of know the duck, but a lot of people don't really know what's behind it. So we'll get into a little bit of, the rationale as to why we would offer Aflac products and what they would do for you. So we know that most of us are concerned financially, personally, about inflation and the cost of living. We have some statistics here. I know you can read these, but a pretty high percentage of us as Americans say that they're living paycheck to paycheck. Savings, I know that's can be a challenge for most of us, is how do we keep our savings intact or even save it all? And then we've got some financial anxiety going on, especially with uncertainty. Half of Americans have saved less than what they would need for their own financial security. 27% of adults report having no emergency savings or leaving them, possibly vulnerable to unpredictable expenses. So we just know that there's a lot of, and I think that this goes on year to year. For many, many years, people feel like they just don't have enough to pull on, especially if there was something that could happen to them regarding their health. Some more stats. We've got in the current statistics, 77% of US adults say that they're not completely financially secure, which is up. Most Americans, a high percentage of Americans, 60%, are feeling uncomfortable with their level of emergency savings. Some people, especially with schooling and debt, are concerned about their level of debt. 72% are concerned about their ability to cover expenses if someone were to pass in the family, especially an income generator. And almost 50% would have enough to cover 3 months of expenses if they were compromised with their health. We know that there's ongoing expenses in relation to living. We have to make sure that our rent or our mortgages are paid, our groceries are, obviously that's a day-to-day, week-to-week budget. Maybe we have school loans that we have to pay. We've got personal bills. So we know that there's ongoing monthly expenses. And when injury or illness happen, there are expenses that you may not be ready for or may not have planned for, because those are very difficult to plan for. Pardon me. Especially out-of-pocket medical expenses. We know that medical insurance helps us a great deal with a higher percentage of those costs, but there still are deductibles, co-insurance, other related costs that just don't get covered. Expenses still go continue to go at home because you're hurt and sick. Those living expenses don't stop. You still have to pay rent or mortgage, car payments, utilities, etc. And if there is a reason for a loss of income, maybe some time off of work, you may go through your savings or may not have the savings. So loss of income can really impact your personal financial scenario. And of course, we've already looked at some of the percentage of Americans that are worried, and we have a pretty high percentage. If they're unable to pay those unexpected bills, we have 61% of Americans concerned about that. 57% of us live paycheck to paycheck. That's not unusual. Things are getting, costs are rising, and sometimes we feel like we just don't have enough for those unexpected events. So these are the things to think about. What happens if there's a loss of income to the household? If I face unexpected medical bills, we can't control those events. That's life, but there may be a way that, especially with what we'll share with Aflac, that it might be a good resource for you. So this is where Aflac coverage will help. And Aflac's been around for well over 60 years now. I think they've just celebrated their 70th year. So the company's out in Columbus, Georgia, and offers different products so that you can help yourself to these plans to help you recoup. The first product that they offer is a short-term disability policy. This is a percentage of your paycheck, 60% of your wages or less, depending on what you opt for. It's very customizable. It's never 100% of your pay, but you can choose different lengths of period of time that it will cover you. There are some elimination period days. Those are the first days that don't cover you. But this is in relation to being hurt off the job or sick. There's also maternity benefit available with a little bit more detail to that, which we can go over personally if you have a question about that. But this is designed to put some money back to you based on your time off due to a short-term disability so that you can get some money coming in the door. And again, think about it as protecting your paycheck. There are some waiting periods for pre-existing conditions. There is a waiting period for maternity benefits. So those are the things that we can go over personally so that you have a better understanding of this type of plan. The next coverage is accident coverage. This protects you round the clock, 24-hour, and it's really in relation to injury, whether you're hurt on or off job. So in a policy like this, there's many different benefits available to you: hospital benefits, emergency room, surgeries, ambulance, doctor visits, follow-up doctor visits, physical therapy. There's an accidental death benefit built into that policy and an annual policy wellness benefit that you can take advantage of. If you're doing a physical each year, you get roughly $60 back each year, and that's per policy. You can cover your spouse. Children can be covered in this policy as well. This is an example here of a claim. So someone gets injured, falls off a ladder, takes a ride to the emergency room, visits the physician, an x-ray's done. We've got a diagnosis of a dislocated hip and a broken wrist. The benefits in this policy, and of course that's defined in the policy document. I don't have that showing, but all of these benefits are laid out. In this example, this plan paid the policyholders $6,130. These are cash benefits, so benefits that are payable to you, and you can use the money however you need to use it. If it's to pay a doctor, great, a hospital bill. If it's to put in the bank and save, if it's for some time off, however you want to use the money that you get from Aflac policies. And that's the biggest difference here. These policies are not medical insurance. They're designed to help you recoup financially. The next type of coverage is cancer related to cancer diagnosis and treatments. It starts off with an initial diagnosis benefit that's a lump sum benefit payable. We have different levels of this plan, and we can go through that personally as to how much they pay. Within these brochures, they have different levels. The higher the level, the higher the payout. This also recognizes treatment benefits and surgery, stem cell transplant, immunotherapy, lots of benefits loaded in this in relation to cancer diagnoses and treatment. There's hospital benefits and continuing care benefits, transportation lodging benefits. If there's a need to transport, a certain mileage benefit is payable, or if there's unexpected, you have to go outside of our state, for example, to get care, there's lodging benefits. Children are no additional cost to include them. Children are considered under age 26. So we would definitely have that discussion about covering the family and making sure the kids are covered. And there is an annual wellness benefit that's payable each year for cancer screenings. The term portable and rate stable, the rates with Aflac are always the same, locked in unless you make changes to it. And portable just means that if you left the state of Washington as a state of Washington employee, you have the option to keep these coverages going. Here's an example. We have a new cancer coverage called Cancer Protection Assurance. So this is the option 3, which is the highest level payout. This is an example of a cancer diagnosis and the payout in relation to it. Underneath here, you'll see a little bit of the black and white. This details all of the benefits that are payable that added up to this $39,800. So this person had a visit to the physician, had a bone marrow biopsy, and receives diagnosis of leukemia and undergoes treatment. So that just gives you a little bit of an example of how that type of benefit payout would help a family. That money is given to the policyholder, and they can use that money however they need to use it. There is a hospital coverage available. It is really probably our broadest coverage with Aflac because it can recognize sickness or injury reasons. There's hospitalization. You want to think about this policy more so as an inpatient policy, but there is an outpatient benefit, a smaller benefit for outpatient. We have also a critical care and recovery policy, which is in relation to critical illness diagnoses, heart attack, stroke, and other critical illnesses. Aflac offers life insurance. We offer a 10, 20, or 30-year term. It is age dependent. We can get into that personally if you have questions about life insurance. There's also a whole life policy that's available. In the term insurance, you can look at amounts 25,000 to 500,000, increments of 5,000. And spouses, there's a spousal rider, which is just a little piggyback policy, of which a spouse can be covered up to 50,000, depending, or 50% of the benefit, or 50,000. So this is an example of a policy at 50,000. There's an accidental death benefit rider added to this policy. That means if there was a death due to an accident, there's additional monies available to them. So in this situation, the $50,000 benefit paid, there's a $50,000 accidental benefit paid, and because they were wearing a seatbelt, there's a $12,500 benefit paid. So that beneficiary will receive $112,500. Not sure if many of you know that you can look at a supplemental dental coverage with Aflac as well. There's no networks, so you are networked with your dental insurance, but with Aflac Dental, no network to worry about. This can either be filed by the dentist itself, or you can file it separately and receive the money. It's like a secondary coverage. There are waiting periods to discuss, meaning when those benefits will be payable. And the options are either a $1,200 per year per person benefit amount or $1,400. So we can talk personally if you know more, if you have more questions about dental insurance. I have it myself, and it's really helpful, especially if you have dental needs and you feel like you're out of pocket quite a bit. So that's a little bit about the suite of Aflac coverages. Just remember, with Aflac, these coverages are designed to pay you directly, to help you reimburse yourself in however and whatever ways you want, but you can use that money that you get with Aflac however you need to. And again, these benefits are what's called portable. You can leave with them if you take a leave from the state. For those state of Washington employees, these are payroll deducted if you decide that this is something you might want to enroll in, which is nice. So on our end, as Northwest Benefit Advisors, we're here to help you on the service end, policy service, helping you understand the benefits available to you, enrolling, and of course on the back end, claims assistance. We do have a dedicated claims department. We can always review policy and coverage anytime throughout the year. And we do have a monthly newsletter on our website that you can go to if you are interested in having a monthly newsletter, which is a great wellness newsletter. So we look forward to meeting with you. We can certainly review any current coverage you have too. We'd love to hear from you and kind of refresh yourselves on maybe the coverage you have. And you're welcome to schedule an appointment to enroll. We've got a link here if you want to take a quick picture of it. We'll also have this available tomorrow on paper on the flyers. And we really look forward to meeting you. And thank you so much for your attention and for joining.
I just want to take a moment real quick if anybody's got any questions for Beth. It doesn't look like it, but
Okay.
thank you very much, Beth, for the awesome information. Okay, and thank
You
you.
bet. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you everyone
Okay.
for attending. I've put the link in there for any feedback. I'm also going to post the link here real quick for the next meeting, which will be the EAP orientation at 1 o'clock in about 3 minutes. So
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.